Who do we have here today, Bala?
It is, again, our pleasure to have Ron Kao, founder and partner of Sky9 Capital. Ron is leading a technology venture firm focusing on investing in emerging opportunities in the internet, enterprise, machine learning, deep learning technology sector in China. Ron was named by Forbes China and CBN Weekly as one of the top Chinese venture capitalists, China's Midas list, over multiple years. He's actively involved with various philanthropic pursuits, especially in the areas of children education, which is a big theme at Davos, and impact investing. Welcome, Ron, to DisrupTV.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Hey, thanks for being here. I think one of the big things we've been trying to ask a lot of people is kind of what's the investment scene? What's the climate like right now in the startup scene in China? We'll start there as kind of the conversation point. We'll bring it in a little closer.
Well, I mean, it's very active. Certainly, with the public market being down second half last year, there's been some pullback. Some of the slowdown perhaps in the later stage rounds, but we're focused on early stage, and it's really about company building, working with top entrepreneurs, great ideas, and there's plenty of that going on in China. So our job is really to be very selective and trying to find the right ideas that we feel very strongly in, and back the right people. So that hasn't changed.
Oh, that's good to hear.
I'm fortunate to work for a company that, in terms of corporate venture capital, only behind Google Ventures and Intel Capital, about 290 companies in our startup portfolio. We're at a cadence of investing in a startup once a week. And I also track Venture Scanner, which right now I think is about 2,800 startups just in the AI space that have fetched 47 billion in venture funds. And of course, Dr. Kai-Fu Lee, who's going to be speaking at Davos, speaks about AI superpower, where his thesis is China and US. And we can debate who's one and two in terms of dominating investments in the AI space in the foreseeable future. So my question to you, can you talk to us about activities specific to smart robotics, natural language processing, machine learning, neural networks, and all of the technologies and solutions that encompass the AI space?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very exciting space. We, our strategy is to do about 10 to 15 deals a year, so we're very, very selective. All of our investments are in consumer internet, and also we're looking for disruption technology. AI and blockchain, in our view, are the most disruptive technology facing, sort of the opportunities going forward. And I think the challenge with AI, I would mention a couple of challenges. I think everybody hear about the exciting things. The challenge with AI in investing in startup are a few things. One is, talent. It's really about talent investing, and Alibaba, Baidu, and Tencent paying top dollar for top talent. Does a startup have the right kind of infrastructure to recruit and retain talent? That's a question mark. And two, AI machine learning is really all about data. So does a startup with access to limited data, they have a unique advantage? So, we're very actively looking at the space, but it's to be, we're very selective and meet those criteria. It's quite hard sometimes to find the perfect deal. But as a sector, I would say China is going to lead the charge in the world because it's at the high level. It's data, access to data, population, the focus from the government, the private sector is very much going to favor its development in AI.
That's a great point.
Sorry.
It's a great point. We look at AI deals, right? A lot of things that we try to figure out is the talent factor. I mean, people are paying something from, something between 2.1 to 2.5 billion for folks with AI skills as a PhD, 1.2 million for people who are spending anywhere for what's going on the master side, and about 500,000 is what people are paying for employees. So it's definitely a talent war that's going on the AI side.
Absolutely. In your points of view regarding blockchain, you have folks like Don Tapscott, who wrote Blockchain Revolution, and other thought leaders at Davos. And there's certain incredible visionaries that believe that the impact of blockchain could be as great or greater than the internet. And some believe that blockchain, in terms of maturity, security, scale, adoption, is where the web was maybe in 97, 98. What are your points of view in terms of blockchain, and what can we expect in terms of use cases across all sectors, not just cryptocurrency, all sectors from manufacturing, retail, in terms of how blockchain's adopted in business?
Yeah, we've been focused on the sector since 2013. We're one of the early investors, institutional investors in the space, in Bitcoins, exchanges. Been tracking the space. I would caution this with a couple points. I think that the upside, I think everybody's very excited about, is that I think my experience with any new technology, in the short to medium term, people tend to be overly enthusiastic about its applications. And in the long run, they could be perhaps underestimate the applications. I think we were very enthusiastic in blockchain as an industry. We as sort of people who love technology, but I think we're at a point where you can see that not everything needs a blockchain, right? I mean, a lot of things are more efficient databases are being centralized and they're actually more trusted. You have somebody you can go to. So I think it's really the killer app, and certainly one of the killer apps is really fintech, but that crosses over lines where governments get involved and things that need to be regulated. So that needs to be sort its way out. In places like China, US especially, they're very focused on putting the right regulations. So we're cautious. We're actively investing talent. Perhaps put some seed money into the best brains, best minds, and helping to develop business over time. That's our strategy so far.
Well, hey, last year it was blockchain everywhere, right? Yeah. If you remember, we were going everywhere. I was talking about blockchain, all the different side events that were happening. What are you feeling this year? I mean, are you still seeing blockchain being up there? Is AI picking up more in terms of those investments, in terms of the conversations you're having? Are you seeing more activity just in the conversations here at Davos, not just the general market, but in your conversations?
Well, this year certainly it's more macro issues. I think certainly China, global economy, Chinese slowdown, the trade situation. But on the technology side, I just sat into a panel on the future of 5G. I thought that was interesting. That was a fully packed panel. CEO of AT&T, CEO of Ericsson, all the really the top tier executive in the space were in there. I think that holds a lot of promise. In China, you can potentially argue that would be perhaps 5G would be rolled out in the most efficient, perhaps the fastest way, and some of the technology that's developed in China that could lead to interesting applications in that market first, maybe lead the world in sort of 5G mobile kind of apps, and I think that's a fascinating area.
So multiplexing, robotic surgery, telemedicine, all those things could come to life having the right 5G infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, in China, certainly a lot of our focus has been on consumer internet, social networks, social e-commerce. One of our big investments 3 years ago was Pinduoduo that went public last year. $0 to $100 billion in sales in 4 years. With AI, with 5G, it's not inconceivable. Shopping, you can take shopping to the next level, even real time, be able to feel the orange, smell it or something. I don't know what imagination.
Well, the haptics are good. The haptics are good. Is that firm or is it not firm, right? So
yeah, that is.
I was at, Ray and I were at the largest retail conference in the US, NRF, last week. And it was amazing to see that affirmation that the smartphone is your remote control for life. And the fact that you can have AI-powered application on a smartphone, video streaming as the preference, social networking as the norm. And now you're seeing augmented reality where folks are pointing their smart device, their smartphone, and placing, whether it's furniture or products, using 3-dimension augmented reality, and really almost like you said, touching and feeling and having those senses come to life through a phone. Now imagine 5G's promise of 100x more speed and capacity. You're absolutely right. I think it'll be rocket fuel for e-commerce, which is again an untapped multi-trillion-dollar opportunity for businesses. Now, my final question to you, Ron, we're in this era of multiplied innovation, where it's a combination of mobile and social and cloud and AI and blockchain and other technologies, all combined to produce delightful customer experiences that are mostly mobile. In this era of multiplied innovation, as you look to invest in companies, how much business model innovation opportunities do you see versus just modernizing existing legacy processes? Are business leaders really thinking about the next Airbnb, Uber, Netflix, Alibaba, where you're creating new sources of revenue, not from existing capabilities, but completely new?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, in the China context, so far, we've been investing really on one, talent, people who have experience in starting companies. You know, company creation cannot be learned in business school. It has to be done firsthand, and people with experience is certainly very valuable too. I think it's mostly around business model innovation. Technology development takes a lot of capital, and it's quite a bit of uncertainty. And as an early stage VC fund in China, where there's more consumer activity, more about usage, so far that's been the focus. But I think, having said that, I think with 5G and we talked about the convergence of all these different great technologies, really, last 5 years, you know, in the Chinese corporation, the enterprise market is being more cutting edge than ever as the state-owned companies so reform themselves. The enterprise technology market, hard technology, might be. We will probably do more of that going forward.
Wow, very, very interesting. Well, hey, from the front lines of here in Davos, thank you so much for being here, Ron. We're getting a little insights on China, the scene that's happening, and of course, what's going on. Thank you so much for being on the show. We'll catch you in a little bit.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
Thanks so much, Ron.
Wow, this is our quick speed edition of what's going on here at Davos. Yeah, any words on your end, Bob? What observations are you seeing from the outside view in of what's going on here? So,
you know, certainly following the social sphere around Davos, there are definitely culture, core values, economy and health of economy globally as well as local. Those high-level themes, I think, as compared to last year, I think it's much less technology focused per se and more about, you know, how do we help stakeholders, employees, customers, partners, communities thrive in this era of globalization 4.0. I'm more curious about how you're spending time with folks like will.i.am talking about data privacy. So tell me a little bit about how you are, you know, networking with not only celebrities and business leaders, but talking about really complex issues with folks that I find unlikely talking about things like data privacy and data as property.
You know, this is crazy, right? I mean, you're just walking in the street, you bump into people. I sat down with, like, you know, I saw Amy Cuddy at a pizza shop, right?
Oh,
so
yeah,
talking about books and other things, right? You know, so we saw Amy Cuddy. I mean, you know, I'm watching Don Tapscott. If you watch my Twitter feed, there's Tapscott jumping in, doing great balls of fire with Barry, the piano guy, right, at the piano bar. Right, so the conversations are casual. I had the best conversation over dinner yesterday with Tom Keene, right, Bloomberg, right. I'm thinking, da, 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 da. He gave me the whole history of how the theme came about, and just talking about different things. So I mean, it's that intimate conversation that you can only get here in this kind of event. That's been great, and honestly, like, I've been going to bed at 4 to 5 a.m. every morning and waking up at 7. So it's like I could do about one more night of this, and that's pretty much it. So.
That's amazing. Well, I look forward to your summary of all of your observations, all of the special networking opportunities take place. I know, I suspect you're going to be working on your new book, and hopefully, you know, being a very active participant at Davos helps shape your narrative. Your final comments with, I believe this is going to be our final special edition DisrupTV from Davos. So keep an eye on us getting back on a regular cadence of our Friday shows.
Yeah, catch us next week on Fridays, 11 a.m. Pacific. And of course, catch us at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can always catch us on DisrupTV every week on Friday. We got some special guests for episode number 135. So can you believe that? 135.
It is. It's almost 310 unique guests that you and I have had the privilege to interview. Thank you so much for watching us. This is Ray Wong, live from World Economic Forum at Davos. Vala Afshar here. Find us both on Twitter, engage with us, and recommend guests. We look forward to making sure that we bring business leaders, thought leaders that you want to hear from. So thank you very much, Dave. Ray, safe travels from Davos, and good seeing you on during midweek, not on a Friday.
Catch us on our anniversary show. That's what's going on. So, all right, talk to you later.
Thanks
a lot. Bye.